Welcome to the Travel and Beyond podcast with me, Daisy Ayres. Come with me on this incredible journey as I share my experience of immigrating from the UK to Australia and everything life throws at me in between. Join me for candid conversations, unfiltered advice, and moments of laughter as we shine a light on the highs and lows of this adventure. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Travel and Beyond podcast with me, Daisy Ayres. This week's episode is part 2 to my conversation that I had with Tate. I released part 1 a couple of weeks ago, so if you've not yet listened to it, then I would go back and have a listen. I really hope you enjoyed part 2 as much as I enjoyed talking to Tate, and I'll see you guys soon. So what would you say are your key for people thinking about moving over or in the process and not quite as far into the journey as what you are? What would be your key do's?
Oh, that's a tricky one. Do pack loads of swimwear because you're going to need it. If you're not having a move cube, don't waste your luggage allowance on jumpers and hoodies because I think even in the winter, if you arrived in the winter, so like June, July, August, it would still be hot compared to the UK. So I would say don't bother wasting your luggage allowance on winter clothes. I've got a lot of stuff coming over in the move cube that we were like, yeah, we might need it. We're not going to need it. I might need it in 3 years' time, but by then it probably won't fit me. And I would have bought something new, like the shopping over here is so good. Loads of people said, oh, it's really dated, things like that. I don't think it's dated.
Shopping.
Yeah, I don't think it's dated. I think it's just Australian. Like the clothes are made for hot weather. The fashion, like I cannot wait to be in like my glam Aussie mum era because I look at these women at these events that we go to on the weekends and they are just stunning.
They
slim, into their fitness, look great in everything. Yeah. I can't wait to be hot Aussie mum.
I know. I love the Australian style as well. Like I said, because Aaron said that when we sell the house, can we go and spend like some money on new clothes each? We don't really buy clothes a lot, to be honest, in the UK. But I said I'm going to wait. I'm going to keep my money and go shopping when I get to Australia because I love the Australian shopping and the clothes. It's a different style.
Yeah, there's just something about it, isn't there? Like they are really trendy. I think it depends how you wear it, but they are really trendy. Like look at me when I think you just look amazing. I could never pull that off, but you look great.
Yeah, and it's effortless as well.
Yeah, like their beachy hair. I just look like, well, I don't know. My friend Louise, she's been here 2 years, and she said you're just going to have to get used to looking like an absolute bag of rubbish for the first 2 months because your hair is going to be frizzy from the humid like atmosphere. You're going to be sweating loads. Your lashes fall off. Like I've still got extensions in, but they are so needing to come out because I don't even want to find a hairdresser. Like I like my hairdresser. I like the way she does my extensions. I've had my nails on for like the last 6 weeks and I'm slowly just filing them down to get them off because I don't want to go and find a new nail tech yet until it's the right person. I don't just want to go to like, there's a lot of Chinese nail shops. I don't want to do that.
No.
So yeah, that don't waste your luggage allowance. This is a big one actually because it was a right pain. If you've got Apple Music, make sure you cancel it a month before you leave the UK so that when you get here you can change your region on your phone because you won't be able to download any apps. So yeah, what a nightmare. So my Apple Music didn't cancel until the 26th of December. And I could not download any apps. So I couldn't get like Flybys, which you want your Flybys points. It's like a Tesco club card, but you can get it in loads of different places.
Yeah.
Like Coles do it. You can get it for fuel. Literally everywhere does Flybys. You can even collect Flybys on the campsites as well.
So it's just like a reward scheme that you can use at multiple places.
And you basically earn your points and then you change your points into Flybys dollars and then you can use that to buy stuff. But with Coles and stuff as well, you can collect, they're like barbecue points. So when you spend money on certain items, you then get points, which you can then get like, I don't know, tongs or mitts or just bits and bobs for your barbecue. And they just give it to you free because you've spent money. So you want to make sure that you can download your apps because
Yeah.
I missed out on thousands of dollars of Flybuys points because I just couldn't download it.
So in an ideal world, flybys, can you set that up online, I take it?
You do, but you need an Aussie number. So that would be like as
Right.
soon as you land and you get your
Yeah.
phone number, I would be setting up Flybys because
Right.
the amount of money you're going to spend buying new and the amount of Flybys dollars that really, like, those things really add up. Just to have those nice
Yeah.
touches, like you
Yeah.
get, I don't know, sometimes I go into Woolies because I've got everyday rewards, which is Woolworths and Big W and one of the fuel stations. So like I've already got $20 in my Christmas pot, waiting for, because I've changed it to yearly from just doing my shopping. So
And you,
I like little things like that really add up, and it's worth
yeah,
having.
you don't get stuff
100%.
like that in the UK. Like
No,
you just
like you do
don't.
a little bit with club card points, don't you? But you have to spend so much in Tesco's to get anything back.
Yeah.
But that is one of my big do's. Make sure you cancel your Apple Music. If you haven't got Apple Music, I'm not sure if it makes a difference, but I couldn't change my region until my Apple Music had ended, and I think that was the only subscription that is said about.
Right.
So yeah, definitely cancel that because you're going to want your apps. Silly things like, oh, I don't know, like there's something called Milk Run, which is a bit like, I suppose it's like Deliveroo. So you can get your
Right.
shopping like picked up from the shop, like Woolies. So you order your shopping online. Oh, I'll tell you what it's like. Oh my God, what's it called? The little purple people that go around town.
Ocado. No. Oh yeah, Get Here.
Get It. It's just like Get It. So Milk Run is Get
Right.
It.
Yeah.
So yeah, like just being able to download apps like that makes a huge difference when you're
Yeah.
knackered and you just want someone to deliver you something within your first week that you haven't got. Like you forget about things like your salt, your pepper, your oil to cook. You obviously buy your ingredients, but you don't think about how you're going to cook it.
Yeah.
So
God.
yeah, it is. It's a big learning process. I would love to do like an idiot's guide to setting up in Australia because I am the idiot and I needed it. Because you just don't
Well,
realise all the things.
maybe you need to start writing it and then come on here and talk through it, and then you can put it online and get people to get it. So I think stupid things like that with the Apple Music, like I don't have Apple Music, but knowing that there could be a chance you can't download apps, knowing that about flybys, when you are spending probably the most amount of money when you first get there because
Oh,
you're
you
buying
just
things for
literally,
your house.
yeah, leak money. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
we've got a lot for our money.
Mm.
And we've walked out of like even toys. Toys are so cheap here. I've got the kids' Barbie Dream House. They're about no, I don't know what they are in the UK anymore, but they're expensive. It cost me £104
Wow.
for a Barbie Dream House.
Yeah, that
So
is
cheap.
good.
Their toys are so cheap. But even like setting up home Kmart, I didn't go for the cheapest of the cheap. I got what I wanted because I didn't want to have to buy it twice. But we
Yeah.
got like a plate set of 4 big plates, 4 small, and 4 bowls, $29. It's like 15 quid.
Yeah, that is cheap.
And
So
cutlery was $22. That's, well, I don't know, £11,
I
£12,
think that's a
something like that.
myth, actually, that is probably quite good to address. People think Australia is really expensive.
It's just not.
What are your thoughts?
Alcohol is not more expensive than the UK. It's relative. It's
Mm,
probably the same as the UK, and you can't get it in the supermarket in Queensland. You have to go to a bottle shop.
yeah.
Um, but I don't actually think that's a bad thing. Or
No.
like it's not a problem. They have like drive-through bottle-os here, and next to every supermarket there will be a bottle shop.
Yeah.
So it's not inconvenient at all. Fuel is cheap as anything. I put on my story yesterday. We got a full tank of fuel in a Kia Sportage 2 litre yesterday, £54. It ended up costing me, it was $103, 54 quid.
That's
So that is
insane.
like dirt cheap. And if you've got a Costco membership as well, you can get cheaper fuel at Costco.
Yeah.
So we're 10 minutes from Costco and we've got a membership. So you can get that cheaper every day of the week.
Yeah.
What else? Clothes. Honestly, I don't think anything's expensive. I really
No,
don't.
I agree.
We paid our car, so we got our car, which is Kia Sportage. I think it's 2019. Bearing in mind it's a Kia, it still had 3 years new car warranty on it. They gave us a full tank of fuel with it, and it's got 80,000 kilometers, so I think that's about 40 something thousand miles. So it was about right. It's low mileage for over here anyway. It cost us £13,500. It was $25,000.
Yeah, that would be a lot more in the UK, wouldn't it?
Oh my god, you couldn't even get a banger for 13 grand in the UK. Like
No.
our polo, we paid £17,000 for our polo, and it was obviously tiny.
Yeah,
It was newer, but not. It was a 1 litre. Like
that's
for what we've
insane.
got in a car, we've had an
Mm,
absolute steal. You do have to be careful buying a car, and you do have to jump through some hoops, like getting your license and stuff like that. But that's another do. Actually, do apply for your Australian bank account before you come. So we used CommBank, and you can do it. I think it's 14 days before you leave the UK. I think I did it the night before,
yeah.
because I was really last minute. And we just nominated a branch in Sydney to go into, and we took in our passport, our driving license, and both UK, by the way, not Aussie. Passport, driving license, and one other thing. I can't remember what it was. I think it was our visa.
Yeah.
Into the nominator branch, and they set it all up, and then they sent our bank cards to our house.
God,
So
that's
we were
so
like
good.
ready to go. So that was
Yeah. Yeah.
ideal. So definitely set your bank account up before you
Mm-hmm.
come. Obviously, I've used CommBank. I don't know if you can do any others from across the world, but
Yeah, I
it
think it is.
was
Most people go
it's a
with
really good
CommBank,
bank.
don't they? Yeah.
Yeah, they're really, really helpful in branch. This blew my mind as well. So in the UK, you have to bag up all your change to take it to the bank to put it in there. Here, you can just go and chuck it in this machine at the bank, and it puts it into your account. No
God, that's
bags,
good.
nothing, just does it for you. So that was nice. But they're really, really friendly, really good service. Definitely recommend CommBank.
Yeah.
The only downside is, and bear this in mind, that the first time you send a transfer, it takes 2 days, and bank transferring over here is not instant. It takes at least a day. So that's
Really?
something, yeah, something to think about, because I was like, oh my god, this is painful waiting for money to go in.
Yeah.
Had to pay the rent and stuff, and left it a bit late. Like trying to get money from the UK
Yeah.
over here. So yeah, just bear in mind that everything takes 2 days to go into an
Yeah.
Aussie bank account.
Yeah. Have you started using any Australian words yet?
Hmm. No, Miley's got a bit of a twang. She's got a little Aussie mate. And after she's been with her, she's like, Daddy, can I have some water? She's like more American than she is Australian, but
Yeah.
she's got a little bit of a twang. Bless her. We've only been here 5 weeks, so God knows what she's going to be like by next Christmas when she's been at school with them
Yeah.
all. But I don't
Yeah.
mind it. She's happy.
What have they been like? What have the girls been like?
Do you know what? They've been really good. Apart from the fact that we're all sick to death of each other because we've been
Mm.
like 6 weeks non-stop.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've been out a few times with the girls. Harry's been and played golf a couple of times. So we have had a bit of a break, but them two have been with each other solidly for the last 6 weeks. And they are ready for school now. That's
Yeah.
another downside actually to coming in December, is that the schools break up at the end of December, and they don't go back until, well, mid-December it is actually, and they don't go back until the end of January. So we've sort of arrived. It would be easier to get them straight into school. I would have given it a couple of weeks, I think,
Mm.
but I think they've had too long off now, and they've wanted to
Right.
go and see their school. So I think if you're going to do it, sort of early November time, get over, get settled. Obviously, where we did the road trip, we were a bit holiday
Yeah.
mode and not really
Yeah.
bothered. But I wish I'd got them to go to school even for a week before they broke up, just so they had some sort of idea,
Yeah.
and made a few friends as well, so it wasn't so daunting going back. But
Mm.
yeah, they've actually been fine. Really good, really. I hate the word resilient, because people say, "Oh, kids are so resilient," but they really are. Um,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
have done amazing. They've taken it all in their stride. We've had ups and downs. Don't get me wrong. Like Christmas was hard, being away from family. And Tilly says to me at night, she says, "Oh, Mummy, why do I get so sad at night but not during the day?" But it's because we're so
Oh,
busy during the day, and then she's got time to lay in bed and think about the people that she misses. And we generally do FaceTime early evening Oz time. So it's
yeah.
like first thing in the morning at home, so they're all getting up, getting ready, going to school, and Tilly's just going to bed. She's got all this time to think about the people that she's missing. So I think they do get sad. I wouldn't say more often than not. There's just days when I think they're tired, they're missing home, they've probably had a bit of an emotional ride that day, and it has been a bit like, I don't think they've ever said, can we go home now? Because I don't think they want to go home. They are loving life. But they do just miss, like, giving their cousins a cuddle, you know, and seeing them. I think that's been hard for them because we are such a close family. Them not having them there and not being able to pop round for, I don't know, a couple of hours to play or go for a Sunday roast, you know what I mean? Things like that they've struggled with. And I think that'll always be a thing. Because that's family, like, that is, you've got those ties, haven't you? And that connection with those people. So I think that'll always be a thing. And our friends that have been here 2 years, they say it never gets any easier. When people come and then they leave again, that goodbye is awful. Like, it doesn't get any easier. But I don't regret it. No. Not one bit. Like, I look at the kids now and I think, this is what life should be like. Life in the UK is so glum. And it's so grey, and Miley will get stuck in a rut and be like, I don't want to go out, I don't want to go to school, I don't want to do this, it's cold. Whereas now, some days she's tired because we've been doing so much, but they wake up in the morning, they say, what are we doing today? And that for me is something that's really important. Because they're sort of looking forward rather than sitting still. And that was the whole point. The whole point of coming here is, like, to grow, to do more with our lives. And even if we were only here a year and we decided actually it's not for us, I don't think it'll happen. But if that was the case, you've done something. You've lived, like, you've seen part of the world that some people could only dream of seeing, you know. And for me, that's a huge thing.
I don't think you'll come back. I think it sounds like you're really, really loving it and you've settled in really quickly. What about Harry?
He's all right. He's, again, up and down. He really misses his brother and the kids. That's been hard for him because his brother had a baby 18 months ago. And my kids are very close to Harry's brother, and Harry has that connection with his baby, but obviously he's young, so he's worried about losing that. And I think that's why the FaceTimes and stuff like that are really important, and we really, really hope they'll come over. Harry's going back in August for a wedding anyway, so he will get to see him then. And I think by then he'll really need that fix. I think he'll need to see them because this is the longest time that he's ever been apart from his brother. But I do think also, like, finding these friends has helped because they do take your mind off it. They'll never, like, no one will ever replace that relationship. Like, it's not possible, but it does help to keep his mind busy and think about other things, and also enjoy making memories, not just with them, but with new people, you know? So I think he's all right. I think he would tell me if he was really struggling. And we did always say if there was one of us in a year's time that are really down and not coping, then we would all come home. But as it stands, although the hard times have been hard, you get through it.
I think
you've got to look to the bigger picture.
I think that's the key thing, is after a year, because everything is so new and so fresh, and I think you have got to give it time. And if you, after a year, you still don't feel happy or that it's the right thing, you can probably confidently say, look, I gave it a try. It's not for me.
But then on the flip side, we're on a 190 visa. We can come and go as we please for the next 5 years. So if we do a year and then we want to go home and we go back to England for a year and we think, nah, this is not for us, we can come back again.
Exactly. And
that is the beauty of the that is the beauty of the 190 visa. Like, I'm glad because everyone here that we've made friends with, one's on an employed sponsor visa, I think it's 482. One's on a 5-year regional. One of them came on an employer sponsored and has now got permanent residency. We've got other friends that moved here 11 years ago. They moved to Adelaide, and they've
Yeah.
moved to the Gold Coast 7 months ago. So they've just done their citizenship test, so they're now waiting for their ceremony. So
Oh,
it's nice that everyone's at sort of different points in their life, but we can see what it's taken to get there, you know. So
yeah.
it's nice to see that 2 years down the line, actually, they came over here in exactly the same boat that we were in. They might have even, I don't know if they had less money. Like, we've not really spoken about like figures, but you come
No.
here, you spend a lot, you're on
Yeah.
the bones of your ass very quickly.
Mm.
But you make it work. And they said to us the other day, they're at a point now where they can have a $300-400 bill come out, because a lot of stuff's quarterly. So like your electricity and stuff, you can pay quarterly, water's quarterly. I've set mine up to be monthly because that's what we're used to. But they can have a quarterly bill come out and they don't even notice it's gone out the bank.
Yeah.
Because over here I find that people do have a lot more, I don't know whether cash is the right word, but people have a lot more money because you're not spending so much to go out and do stuff. The
Yeah.
wages are good and they build quickly.
Mm.
Yeah, I
I
think
think you
people
have more disposable income there. I think
yeah,
that's the key thing. You have more disposable. It might be some things might seem more expensive, but when you work out what you're earning
yeah.
versus your outgoings, you're left with more money to do what you want with.
Oh god, yeah. Even like health insurance, for instance. Obviously, we don't pay health insurance in the UK. Everything is given to us on a plate. So that's probably why the NHS is struggling. But health insurance here, we're paying $280 a month, which is like £140 roughly, probably a couple of quid more than that, I don't know. But that literally covers us for everything except something I couldn't pronounce and having a baby. I mean, I don't want any more kids, so that was fine.
You know?
But the
Yeah.
beauty of it is you can set up your health insurance and you can add bits as you go along. You can take bits
Yeah.
off as you go along,
Hmm.
and it just changes your premium. So actually, yes, it's something to have to get used to as a monthly outgoing, but then you're not paying half as much on electric. I think
No.
people are paying like $400 for like a quarter. It works out about $100 a month. It's 50 quid.
Yeah, it's nuts. And also going back to the health thing, we don't we don't pay for a health insurance something, but don't forget we have national insurance coming out. That just comes out before you see it. So
Yeah.
you do pay something towards it. And I personally think the healthcare system's loads better in Australia than the UK.
Yeah, I mean, we've only experienced Miley with an ear infection, which cost me $80, and then I think I paid about 30 for a prescription.
Mm.
Because it depends on, they don't have like a set fee. It depends on what product you buy as to how much it's going to cost you. I don't actually
Yeah,
think it was $30. I think it was $18, and I bought something else as well, so the total was 30. So it cost me about $100. But once my Medicare is set up, which is a ball ache, um, I can claim that back, and
yeah.
I'll
How
get
much
like,
can you claim back? Do you know? Is it
I think it's income tested, but
right?
I'm not 100% sure on that. So don't hold me to that. I
Yeah.
think it's about 80%.
God, that's good, isn't
And they
it?
literally, so you pay for it on your card, and then you scan your Medicare card,
Yeah.
and the money goes straight back into your bank
Wow, that's so good.
there and then. And it's same with your health insurance. So with my private health insurance, I get so I've covered myself with dentistry on there,
Hmm.
and a little bit of extra dentistry, I think. So when I go to the dentist, I pay, I don't know, let's say $180. I swipe my health insurance card and the money goes straight back onto my card.
Oh my
And
God,
I've got
it's so
massage as
good.
well. So I get like an allowance per year on what I can spend on massage.
Jesus, it's
So I
so good,
pay,
isn't it?
I think I get like a 400, it might be $400 between us. So we get $200 worth of massages a year. And I just swipe my card and the money goes back on.
God. So
Delightful.
when you're paying out for it, you probably are going to be in a healthier condition as well because you can go and get additional things done that you
Yeah.
typically wouldn't here.
Yeah, so
And then,
what basically my boss said to me the other day was like, the good thing about here, because he's British, he's been here 4 years. He was like, Australia, like at tax time, you get a tax return even if you're employed because there's so many things that you can claim for.
yeah,
And Australia do it because they're giving you back money to then spend in the country. So it keeps the economy
yes,
going. So they're really good. So like even after these storms, they've given out like crisis payments. So a family of 4 could be looking at, I don't know, they got $180 each. We didn't claim anything because I'm not set up to do any of that, and we weren't really that affected. We had no power for 12 hours. But there has been people that have claimed, and they've got like $180 per person. So our friends, they had no power for 5 days. They got $900, and they just paid that out in like a couple of days. And then they've now set up another fund as well to help people out that like had damage and stuff like that.
God, in the UK, you'd get nothing, would you? You wouldn't get
Nothing at all.
anything.
It's literally shocking. Like even in the community, people were going out on the day after the storm, and they were like, "I've got my chainsaw. Do you need anything?" Like on all the community pages, do you need anything cut up? Is anyone stranded? Is anyone stuck? Does anyone need sandbags? Like people say about the Pompey sense of community, which don't get me wrong, is very good. Like the community pull together, don't they? If something happens, like fundraising, things like that. But here, the community spirit is like second to none.
Yeah, I think that is something like in the UK definitely we've lost is community. There is no, I don't think there's a sense of community at all here.
No.
But there, I think there is definitely.
I think since COVID, the sense of community in the UK has just completely gone. Like everyone's for themselves, which don't get me wrong, I think you almost have to be at this point in the UK, don't you? Because if you're not, you're going to get screwed over. Whereas here, everyone's just so nice. They're so nice. Everyone wants to help you. Everyone wants to give you advice. Like,
have you noticed people are friendlier there?
Yeah, I would. I mean, I went into the bank on like the 3rd day being on the Gold Coast or something, and I just had a bloke sitting in there, and he chatted my ear off for about an hour, just waiting to be seen because it was really busy. It was just before Christmas, and yeah, he just gave me loads of advice, told me about his son and school, and people just tell you everything. They just want to be your mate, and even like Harry was on the golf course, and there was a lady and a man. So the golf course he was playing, there's loads of houses that back onto it, and they were just sat in their garden watching Harry take this shot, and they called him over, and like Harry's now got their number. We've been invited to go to a street party.
That's so nice.
Yeah, just loads going on. People are just so nice.
I think people are happier.
I do think that's true. You wake up in the morning, and even when it's like grey and miserable, I think the heat helps because you're warm. Even if it's raining, you still go out. You're not wrapped up. You're not wearing jeans. You're still in your shorts and your top or your dress. And you go out and you just get wet. And unless it's torrential, which it has been quite a lot of torrential rain, but that's generally later on in the day, or because you've been so busy, you just have a day indoors. Like it just doesn't affect you. You're not cooped up.
No.
And you're not miserable. You just wake up every day and I feel like I can get out of bed, make my bed, go and sort the kids out, make breakfast. Don't get me wrong, we are in like holiday period because haven't been working and haven't had anything to get up for. But I'm not even like, if I was starting a new job in the UK, I would be anxious. I would be worried about what's to come, what the people are going to be like. Am I going to be good enough? I don't have any of that here. I'm actually excited to start my new job because I know that it's like a new opportunity. I'm going to meet new people. They're like I said, they're British. So they know also what we're going through. They've done it. They've been there. They've got the T-shirt. It's exciting. There's nothing. I don't feel anxious at all.
So good to hear. I'll be interested to hear as well what your experience is like when you start work, because I think it's just, again, a different work culture in Australia to the UK.
Yeah, definitely. I do think though, if you've got a British employer, it's slightly different again because we have got a different work ethic to the Australians, I think. I get mixed reviews because one of our friends' partner, he's a carpenter and he's working with a load of Aussie geezers, and they work from 6 a.m. till like 5 p.m. non-stop pretty much throughout the day, and they are grafting. But then you've got other Aussies that don't even turn up to appointments that you've got booked in for like maintenance on your house and stuff like that. So I think it's like they're either really good or they're really lazy. And then you've just got British people that just want to do a good job and earn good money.
Did you
have like their normal working hours, you know?
Yeah. Did you find it hard to find work?
So I had one job interview for barbering, and it was like your typical Turkish barber. It was absolutely awful. And he was sort of like, you're too slow, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do the other. And I was like, right, okay, sort of just took it in. And he did offer me work. So that was the first interview that I'd had. And I ended up ringing back and just saying, it's just not for me. I'm never going to be quick enough for you. I like to spend time with my clients for a start.
Mm,
And at the time, I think I was so worried about getting a job that I was like, I'll just interview for anything. I'll take anything. But then when I
mm,
really sat back and I thought, that's just going to make me miserable. And I haven't moved here to be miserable.
mm.
Um, so we sort of stopped looking a little bit. This was before Christmas. Yeah, it was before Christmas. And then we said, oh, we'll get Christmas out of the way. And then my friend said she'd seen a post on Facebook. So I just messaged the guy and went for an interview. And it was between me and somebody else. And I had more experience. So I got it. So no, not really. I haven't really had a problem. My friend Janine, she had 3 job interviews and she got offered 2 of them, and that was in like admin as well.
Yeah.
Um, there's loads of work over here, especially for trades. Loads
Yeah.
of work.
What about
Um,
Harry? Has he got work yet, or?
yeah, so he's going to be working for a Scottish guy as well. I don't know if he used Down Under Centre or not. My employer used Down Under Centre.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, so yes, he's going to be working for a Scottish guy. The money's not incredible, for
Hmm.
starters, but he is giving him a van. He's giving him ladders. He's buying all of his tools, and
Oh wow.
he's still taking home good money, to cover the bills. My money will be like play money savings.
Yeah.
Harry's money will cover bills. So it's all just going into one bank account. It'll all pay out of one bank account.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I didn't really want to be working 40 hours a week, but the kids are getting older, and I think once I'm settled into the job, they're being really flexible. So I'm going to be in the office like 9 till 2:30. I'll then leave to go pick the kids up from school, and then I'll finish my working day at home.
That's
Um,
good.
yeah, really, really good. And you get paid weekly as well because everything's weekly over here. Rent's weekly.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't think
And
what.
then what
Yeah.
about the girls' school? Have you got that sorted?
No, I've been really dragging my feet. Obviously, where we landed and then the schools were shut, and I was like, oh, I'll sort it out in January. So Monday, the kids' school, the office opens, but only a couple of hours a day. So I've got to go in at like 9 o'clock Monday morning to pick up an enrolment pack. Some
Hmm.
schools, the websites are really good, and you can get the enrolment pack, or you can enrol by just sending over your documents.
Yeah.
But I'm not settled on school yet. I need to go and see it. I'm torn between the local state school and a local private school.
Hmm.
The private school for both the kids is coming in at $5,500 a year.
That's not bad at all, is it?
It's literally my difficulty is in the UK, your private schools have smaller classes, whereas here the classes in some of them seem about the same size. So for me, a smaller class would be a benefit.
Yeah.
But then with state schools, you then have to buy all of their like workbooks. You have to buy all of their, I don't know what you'd call them, like exercise books that you would get for free in the UK. You have to buy
Right.
the pens, the pencils, the glue sticks, the scissors. You have to buy all that and provide it for your own
Wow.
child. So you're looking for 2 kids, probably about $300
Right.
plus uniforms for both. And the uniforms, you can't just get uniforms at like Kmart or Target. You have to get like the school's uniform. So you're looking at like, I don't know, $35 a skirt. You're going to have 2
Hmm.
or 3 of them. It's hot, obviously, they're going to get sweaty. Um, I like to buy a shirt a day. So in the
Right.
UK, you can buy like a pack of tops for like $5.50 from Asda. Over here, you're looking at like $30 a shirt. So it is expensive. Plus, they need a hat. They need shoes. School shoes over here are horrendous. I don't.
Oh
Mine
my
is.
God. I was going to say, what are the girls going to be like with the uniforms? Because the uniforms there, like, it's the shoes. They all have to wear the same shoes, don't they?
Oh, I don't know. To be honest, I don't even know. But I've been looking at school shoes in Kmart recently because there isn't that many shoe shops for kids.
Mm.
Kmart does have a good range. Don't get me wrong, of shoes, like normal shoes, but the school shoes are horrendous.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of older kids in like secondary school just wear their PE kits a lot of the time and trainers, but I don't
Right.
know what the policy is with trainers for primary kids over here. But yeah, they've got
No.
like a checked shirt. It's real home and away vibes.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a big collar, and they've got a skort, like a pleated skort. So yeah, I don't know how they're going to feel about that. That's the state school, and then the private school is like a checked pleated dress.
Right.
I think they're quite cute with like a little sort of bucket hat type hat,
Mm-hmm.
because they have to have the hats because obviously they do a lot of outside learning. They sit outdoors to eat their lunch.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the uniform's going to come in quite expensive. Whereas with the private school, you don't have to provide any of those books. That's all within the tuition fee.
Right, okay.
Which also in a lot of schools that are private includes their trips, whereas in a state school you would then have to pay for their trips as well.
So you might not even end up paying more out to go to a private then.
No, that's it. Especially in secondary, because in secondary, in a state school, a lot of them you have to buy them a laptop.
Right, okay.
Whereas in secondary and private, they loan it to you.
God, that's good.
So it swings and roundabouts. I literally don't know what to do. I've been sort of speaking to people that I think it depends on the area. I spoke to someone the other day and she's got 2 kids in private. She said she turned up to the state school, got out the car, walked through the car park and walked back to the car again because it was so horrific.
Really?
So both of her kids go to private and she's paying about 23 grand a year for that.
Wow.
So that's obviously a big step up, but that's Brisbane. That's north side of Brisbane.
That's the city, yeah.
Yeah. The private school that I'm looking at is Catholic. So I don't really know how the kids will feel about the religion side of stuff because obviously we're not religious.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They might really like the state school. I don't really care where they go, in all honesty, as long as they're happy, as long as they're like doing well, like they were in the UK. I don't actually think it matters where they go.
No.
As long as they're happy, that's what counts.
Yeah. And then just one more thing, I just wanted to check. I should have asked this earlier when we were speaking about, but the move cube. I saw you put on your story that you wish you didn't even bother doing one. What's your thoughts on people taking a move cube?
That is a tricky one. So my move cube has got toys, clothes, a lot of shoes, all like the kids' sentimental stuff. So like I've kept everything from when they were babies up until now. I think I had 12 large boxes and 16 small boxes, and to be honest, probably, I don't know. I say I didn't need it. I'm looking forward to my shoes coming over and my bags.
Yeah.
It would be nice to have the kid. The thing is with sentimental stuff, you don't ever look at it. It's just there, and you know it's there, and it's a comfort, and that's it. I don't really need it, but I would have been gutted if I'd left it behind and someone had thrown it away. So that would be my only reasoning for that.
Yeah.
We have packed winter stuff in there. I wouldn't even bother. Get rid of it. Don't waste the space. Don't bother putting bikes in. Bikes are cheap as chips over here. We got 4 brand new bikes for like under $400. It was like 200 quid.
Jesus.
And I got 3 cruiser bikes, and Harry got this like suspension thing from Kmart. Really good, nice bikes.
That's so cheap.
Yeah, under 400. I think I paid. I can't even remember, but it was ridiculously cheap. We were like, I'm so glad we didn't bring anything like that. It's a tricky one with the move cube because I think a lot of people love them, but like mine left the UK. I don't even think it has left the UK. Mine got picked up on the 8th of December, and we are now. What date is it? The 13th of January. It's now the 13th of January. I got a notification yesterday saying it had been put into a container.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And how much did you pay for that?
It'll be 1,800 quid in total.
Jesus. So except from the sentimental stuff, really, you could have just not sent it and saved the money and bought stuff over there.
Yeah, because toys are so cheap. Like we've packed Lego. I've bought. The girls got like quite a lot of money before we left for Christmas and birthdays and stuff like that. So they've bought like the entire Barbie range over here. I've got 48 Barbies in my move queue. 48.
Yeah,
And
it's
that
all
doesn't
going to come
include
and not.
the kids and like the children Barbies and the animals and all the accessories. 48 Barbies. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. Plus all the baby stuff that Tilly's got. We've bought all new Gabby's dollhouse toys here. We bought new Bluey toys. Like you genuinely don't need anything. You need nothing because anything that you can get here and
Yeah,
cheaper at half the price for a lot
yeah.
of stuff.
I think that's what we're going to do. We've said we're going to ship Aaron's tools,
Yeah,
and that will probably be it. Other than that, we'll just bring a suitcase with clothes that we think we'll need in and everything
yeah,
else. I'll probably bring a coat just because if we want to go to somewhere like Melbourne or something, you probably will need a coat. But other than
yeah.
that, I'm not going to bring a lot. Honestly, we're just going
No,
to get rid of everything.
yeah. In hindsight, we definitely didn't need to be £729 worth of luggage over because we didn't need any of it.
Mm,
Literally none of it. Don't get me wrong, it's nice to have, but yeah, you can buy everything here. Literally buy
yeah,
everything. Sell it
yeah,
all, do car boots, just get organised and get rid of everything as soon as you can
yeah,
and then buy new because I tell you what, so much of my clothes is too thick anyway. Like even the
yes,
summer stuff is too thick for being here. You want like the light linen stuff because it is so
yes,
bloody hot that
yeah.
yeah, I've got so much stuff in my wardrobe now that I'm like I'm probably never going to wear that again because it's just
Yeah,
too hot.
because in their winter, you'll probably be able to wear your summer stuff.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that.
Well, I feel like I could. We could talk about so much more, but
So much.
so much more. So I think you're probably going to have to come back on and talk. There's
Sorry about that, guys.
what? No, but I love. I could talk about it for days. I think it's so like helpful, and even there's people like I've had people message me that are not even thinking about moving, but they've been following my journey, or I've even had people say to me like, we can't wait to hear Tate's. I've purposely not looked on her Instagram, so I don't want to know. I want to wait until it comes out. So I think it's just so good talking about, everything. And this
Yeah,
morning, it's funny because although every day I'm thinking like, I think about it every day, I just can't wait to be there. And it's weird because I know what it's like. I'm not thinking about the visual or like what my actual life is going to be day to day. But then
yeah,
when I looked at your post this morning, I actually got butterflies. I was like, oh my God, like that is actually going to be my life.
yeah. The beach today was all the beaches are shut because the weather's been so changeable and the waves have been really really strong. There's
Mm.
a really bad swell along the coast at the moment. Like even just walking sort of ankle deep, you can feel the sea pulling you out. It's dangerous.
Oh, wow.
So they've shut the beaches. There is still like lifeguards there, but they're just sat in their vans, basically telling people get out of the water. The beach is
Yeah.
closed. So we
Yeah.
walked along because Harry wanted to see how big the waves were, because they
Mhm.
have been big, but they've been in the sea a lot. So for them to shut the beaches, we were like, oh, let's go and have a look. So we took the walk along the beach. The beach is like, well, not I say not completely empty. There was people about, but it was so calm and chilled, and it was a pinch me moment. Like
Mm.
I genuinely was like breathtaking from what you can see. It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like being on a permanent holiday
Yeah.
and just knowing that like the weeks here go so quickly and suddenly it's Saturday again and we're like, what should we do? Let's go to the beach. That is just such a nice feeling. We're not scratching our heads
Yeah.
thinking, oh, can't afford to go to the play centre, can't afford to do this, can't afford to do that, because you don't have to. Pack yourself
No.
a picnic, grab like your towel and that, and go to the beach.
Yeah. And that's going to be your life. The girls will be in school, you'll be working. Every weekend, you'll be out and about doing stuff.
Yeah. Even like, so we've booked to go to Byron Bay camping with everyone else start of next month. It's cost me
Hmm.
$186 for 3 nights camping with a powered pitch. Um,
Wow.
I don't even know. What's that like 90 quid? It's like 30 quid a night, but that's a weekend away. Like
Yeah.
you
For a
couldn't
family of
do,
4.
yeah, you couldn't do that in the UK. And we'd always be thinking, oh, where can we book next? Where can we go on a cheap, I don't know,
Mm.
city break? Where can we go on a cheap beach holiday for like a weekend? Just somewhere
Yeah.
to get a bit of sun to cheer you up. You don't
Yeah.
have that here. I don't even really think about it. The reason I'm booking places to go is because I want to see this country. Like there's so much to do and see that's why you book stuff, not because you're so miserable that you need to go somewhere. You're just
Yeah,
booking it because it's an adventure, and that's
yeah.
such
It's
a
an
nice feeling.
escape, isn't it, here?
Yeah,
Like, and it's a short dopamine hit because it's amazing when you go away
but you get the
and then you
blues
come
so
back
bad.
and you're like, oh, shit, just back to grey, miserable life.
Exactly
There,
that. You don't have that.
no.
You literally don't have that. Even when it rains, I'm still like, "Oh, it'll pass."
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited, honestly. I can't wait to be there. And we're just like every day or every week, we're like, okay, it's another week closer now. Every
Yeah,
week
that's
that
it.
goes by, we're like,
I think as
1 week
well for
closer.
you, like you've got your sort of end date, haven't you, where you know that you can come out when you're working holiday.
Mm,
You know that you are counting down. Whereas for a lot of people, that part of living in limbo and not knowing, like
yeah,
you were when you were waiting for your invite and whatever, like that time is so emotionally challenging
it
and not
is.
knowing. So the fact that you have got a countdown now, it
Yeah,
must be such a relief. And do you know what? July is going to be here before you know it.
I know. And we say that we're like, we are so lucky that they are changing the work and holiday visa rules because
Yeah.
otherwise, it is, they're saying on average 11 months. So we'd be here until October. And I'm like, I couldn't fucking do that. I
No.
couldn't do it. I'd have to. But I'd be so miserable. Whereas
Miserable.
knowing July, I mean, that's on the basis that the house sells and everything. Um, I can do that.
Yeah.
I
Just
can do
knowing.
that.
It's just
Yeah.
that little bit of control that you've got makes a massive difference, because for the
Yes.
people that have no control, it's so hard. So
So
hard.
hard.
Oh, you forget about it. I said to Harry, it's like having a baby. Like when you go through labour, it's absolutely horrendous. But then when you push that baby out, it all goes away. That's the same. You go through labour of moving countries, and then when you get here, you forget it even happened.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited. But thank you so much for coming on. Honestly, we've been talking for like 90 minutes.
I know.
And
We can still carry on.
I could talk for hours more, so I think we'll maybe get you on once you've been at work and the girls are at school. I think it'll be good to come on
Yeah,
and see what you chose for the school, how they're getting on, if you're
yeah,
happy to do that, because
yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean,
I'll have a think about my idiot's guide as well for anyone else that wants.
yeah, have a think. I think that'd be so, because like that thing about the electricity and the apps, never would have known that.
No, well, I didn't. Just
No.
things that you have to learn for yourself, isn't it? So yeah, I'll have a little
Yeah.
think. I'll write some stuff down, and maybe we
Yeah.
can do a little thing on that as well.
Yeah. Things I wish I knew before I moved to Australia. Because you know about the main, like the core things, don't you? But it is them little things that,
And you've got so much going on at that point when you're leaving the country that you don't think about the little things.
no.
And when you get here, it's like such a big thing that you've got here that you
Yeah.
don't even know where to start. So yeah,
Yeah.
definitely give it a
Okay.
go.
Cool. Well, thank you so much. And
That's all right.
I'll speak to you soon.
Yeah. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.